Hello, my name is Ben, and I'm going to show you how to play dragons in Hearthstone battlegrounds. So you probably know dragons, Kaligos, Nadina, a bunch of big dragons, but how exactly do you go dragons? Because it's not as simple as, oh, you just buy dragons and you're dragons. So I'm going to show you what the early game is, the mid game, the late game, and how you transition properly to win a lobby with dragons. So early game, the strongest dragons are the tier 1 dragons, the whelps. If you just have a full board of whelps will be able to snipe your opponent's cannons or just big units. Whelps are insane and they're very easy to triple as well. So you can just keep 2 whelps on the board with a full board of dragons, hit the triple and get something strong. Wax Riders are probably the strongest tier 2 if you have a decent board of dragons, because they help you scale. If you have good statted dragons or powerful whelps, they can become huge in no time and just farm those red packs. And tempo dragons. Dragons are luckily some of the biggest tempo cards in the game. Like Bronze Warden is almost one of the best tier 3 units. It's a really good dragon. And the tier 4 dragons are also really good. Herald, Scalebane, they're all pretty decent. Now, you can't just go dragons though in the early game. I mean, you can, I just told you how to go dragons, but that doesn't mean that you are gonna win late game. So with this setup, with Wax Riders and Whelps and Heralds, you're not gonna win the game, but you're gonna be strong early game. So now we go into the mid game, tier 4 going to tier 5. Usually if you still have a board of dragons, you transition into a Divine Shield composition, because the tier 4 dragons, the 3/6s, you know what I'm talking about. They scale with Divine Shields, and the Divine Shields are really strong mid game. With the Bronze Wardens, you could even throw in some Deflectabots, like mechs, maybe an egg with a module on there, a Bolvar. So generally, dragons are pretty good if you throw in some Divine Shield stuff. Now, Razorgore is one of the best dragons that you can hit as well early on, because it scales on its own and has become really big. And if you triple, you always want to triple into 6 stars, because the only way you're gonna go into the late game with dragons is if you triple into Kaligos. So if you triple, try to get Kaligos or Nadina. Nadina is pretty decent on its own, it's a power spike. But the only way dragons scale is you have Razorgore that scales, but if you want to scale your whole board, you need Kaligos. A composition without scaling is not a composition that's gonna survive in the late game. So late game, if you still want to go dragons, and you don't have a Kaligos yet, you need to level to tier 6 as soon as possible. So if you have a board full of dragons, you either roll Bran or Lightwing, or you try to transition into something completely different, or you level to 6 and roll for Kaligos. That's the only way you're ever gonna make a late game. So roll Kaligos, you wanna end on Nadina. Nadina is a good unit, but you don't need it before Kaligos, unless you're dying, of course. And then it's very simple, right? You just play battle cries with Kaligos on the board. Play as many battle cries as possible, buy everything, try to get strong. You can even throw in an Almagadon, because it's a battle cry on its own, it's a dragon, and then end on Nadina to have your full dragon comp. And you can throw in tech cards like maybe a Ghoul if you're up against mechs or Murlocs. So that's basically how you go dragons. The only way you can go dragons if you find Kaligos late game. Otherwise, it's a very strong early or mid game you can take, and then you transition into something else. Or you level to 6 or triple into Kaligos. So I hope this was helpful. Enjoy your dragon games and go stomp some noobs.